Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du.
Our very warm welcome to distinguished keynote speaker, Professor Razagraj, PhD, as the representative of Asia Pacific Tourism, Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage Journal Team. Professor Darius Litikas, PhD, from Lithuanian Center for Social Sciences, Lithuania. Professor Carlos Fernandez, PhD, from Polytechnic Institute of Viana do Castelo. Professor Goretti Silva, PhD, from Polytechnic Institute Viana do Castelo. Our very warm welcome to Rector of Universitas Islam Malang, Professor Dr. Andes Haji Maskuri, MSI, the first Vice Rector of Academic and Cooperation Affairs, Professor Dr. Andes Haji Junaidi Mistar, PhD. And Honorable the Head of International Affairs as the PIC of this conference, Dr. Imam Wahyudi Karimullah, SSMA. The Head of Department, Bureau, all committees, inquiries, and participants of forum group discussion, and ladies and gentlemen.
First of all, let's say thanks to our God Allah, the Almighty, who has given us a lot of mercies and blessings so we can get gathered together here in this nice quick occasion exactly. Secondly, salawat and salam never be forgotten to our best Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Wahabatul Afikoh and my partner
Yuyun Ayulastari.
We are very thank you for all of you for taking the time to join us in this event. Second International Asia Pacific Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage Conference 2024 under the theme, The Establishment of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage Initiative at Universitas Islam Malang. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's commence this opening ceremony by reciting, based on our beliefs, by reciting Al-Fatiha. Ala hadiniyah wa ala kulli niyatin solihah. Al-Fatiha. Thank you very much.
The next agenda is singing the national anthem of Indonesia Raya, continued by Marsyu Banul Watan. For all audiences, please kindly be standing.
Allah الخرمان انهدوا على الوطن يا للوطن يا للوطن يا للوطن حب الوطن من الإيمان ولا تكن من الخرمان انهدوا على الوطن إندونيسيا بلادي أنت عنوان الفخامة كل من يأتيك يوم قومي هيا القوم ماما كل من يأتيك يوم قومي هيا القوم ماما Jaga hati wahai tanah airku cintamu dalam imanku jangan halangkan nasibmu bangkitlah hai bangsaku usapkah hati wahai tanah airku cintamu dalam imanku jangan halangkan nasibmu bangkitlah hai bangsaku Indonesia negeriku engkau panji martabatku siapa datang mengancammu kan binasa di bawah tulimu siapa datang mengancammu kan binasa di bawah tulimu
Very much. For all audiences, please kindly be seated.
Go on to the next agenda is reciting Salawat Nuril Anwan together. For all the audiences, let's recite together. Sallu ala Nabi Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala nuril anwar wa sirril asrari wa tiryaqil ayar wa miftahi babil yasari sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadinil Mukhtar wa alihil adhari wa ashabihil akhyar adada ni'amillahi wa ifdali adada ni'amillahi wa ifdali.
Thank you very much. Continuing, the next agenda is report by the person in charge. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Imam Wahyudi Karimullah, SSMA, with a round of applause.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon to everyone. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Respectable Rector of University of Islam Malang, represented by Vice Rector for Academic and Cooperation Affairs, Professor Junaidi, PhD. Respectable Board Member of Institute of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage, and also team from Religious and Pilgrimage Journal, as well as Islamic Tourism Journal. joining with us Professor Razak Raj, PhD from Leeds Beckett University, London, United Kingdom. Also, Professor Carlos Fernandez from Polytechnic Institute of Viana do Castelo, as well as Professor Darius Liutikas from Lithuanian Center for Social Sciences. Also joining with us, Professor Goretti Silva from Polytechnic Institute of Viana do Castelo, and also other keynote speakers and presenters who are also attending this Asia Pacific Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage Conference 2024. Some of the keynote speakers are attending, just arrived this afternoon. So some of them are still in the hotel and planning to join our activity tomorrow on Thursday and Friday. Bapak Ibu yang kami hormati, respectable audiences and presenters and participants from Telkom University, from Kadiri University, and also from other universities, especially from Faculty of Islamic Education Study Program, as well as from English Education Study Program, and students, and also committee of this Asia Pacific Religious Pilgrimage and Tourism Conference 2024. Bapak Ibu yang kami hormati, khususnya Pak Rektor, Pak WR1, I need to report to the Vice Rector for Academic and Cooperation Affairs that today is pra-acara, we call it preliminary program of our conference. The official opening of the conference will be tomorrow on Thursday morning, and then we'll have the second day of the conference, and also the last day on Saturday we will have optional field trip for presenters and participants. Bapak Ibu yang kami hormati, perlu kami laporkan kepada Pak WR1 bahwa kegiatan hari ini adalah kegiatan pra-acara, pra-conference. Kegiatan konferensinya akan dilakukan pada hari Kamis dan Jumat. Perlu kami laporkan kepada Pak WR1 bahwa alhamdulillah para keynote speakers dan board member dari Institute of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage di London, full team alhamdulillah sudah hadir. Dari London, dari Australia, dari Monash, dari Portugal, dari India, dari China, dari Taiwan, beberapa sedang on the way, dan alhamdulillah mereka sudah datang dalam rangka untuk rencana 3 kegiatan. Yang pertama adalah kegiatan konferensi temu tahunan oleh pakar-pakar ilmuwan yang berbicara mengenai wisata religi dan ziarah. Jadi mohon izin Bapak Ibu, beliau-beliau yang ada di depan ini adalah pakar-pakar wisata ziarah religi. I would like to report to Razak and Carlos and Darius. Some of the participants are actually faculty members, plus they have a group of communities who are visiting Hajj and Umrah yearly. For example, Dr. Abdul Jalil, Dr. Saifuddin, there are so many. They have their own communities. Mereka semua punya komunitas sama seperti beliau-beliau. Beliau-beliau ini adalah pakar-pakar wisata, ziarah dan religi internasional dari berbagai macam agama. Dari berbagai macam agama. Dan mereka sudah mendirikan pada tahun 2023 sampai saat ini, hampir 20 tahun lebih mereka sudah menjalin konsorsium ini, dan mereka sudah punya 2 top scholarly journal, dan kedua-duanya adalah Scopus Q1. dan beliau-beliau ini adalah editorial board yang menyeleksi dan termasuk mereview beberapa paper yang masuk dalam ranah kajian wisata religi dan wisata ziarah lintas agama, termasuk dalam konteksnya adalah ziarah religi dan wisata Islam. Harapannya adalah the main purpose of their coming will be to set up a center of religious Asia Pacific religious tourism and pilgrimage, and that will be set up in Indonesia, and the location will be at Unisma Malang. Oke. Jadi mohon izin Bapak Ibu. Jadi Institut Asia Pasifik atau Institut Religious Tourism ini base-nya adalah di London, dan mereka berharap ada Asia Pacific Center Religious of Tourism and Pilgrimage ini di set up di Indonesia, dan mereka berharap Unisma menjadi pusat untuk kajian Asia Pasifik, khususnya di bidang wisata, religi, dan ziarah. Sehingga sebagaimana arahan dari Pak WR1, yang diundang adalah dari Fakultas Agama Islam dan juga dari Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris. Harapannya nanti pada momentum ini akan ada informasi bagaimana nanti Bapak Ibu dari FAI, dari Bahasa Inggris bisa masuk dalam editorial board of Scopus Q1 Journal, dan juga nanti Bapak Ibu, the audience, the researcher, the participant can have a joint research project, bisa bersama-sama melakukan penelitian di Indonesia dengan co-authors dari beliau-beliau. Ada beberapa publication yang mereka sudah kelola, not only journal publication but also book chapter publication, dan mereka siap untuk melakukan joint research dengan Bapak Ibu semuanya, khususnya yang memiliki concern atau kegiatan di bidang ziarah religi atau wisata religi. Kami berharap besok Bapak Ibu bisa hadir, karena besok beliau-beliau dan tim dari sejumlah negara akan datang dan memaparkan sekaligus membicarakan secara teknis rencana penelitian yang bisa kita kerjasamakan. Misalnya Yai Jalil ada jamaah, kemudian umroh, pesertanya adalah Indonesia, nanti bisa dijadikan suatu subjek penelitian, nanti datanya diambil, dikombinasikan, dan bisa publish bersama-sama dengan tim dari London atau dari teman-teman yang lain. Begitu juga dengan Bapak Ibu yang lain, misalkan Dr. Saifuddin punya jamaah, kemudian ada ziarah-ziarah di Malang, bisa dijadikan subjek untuk joint research. Harapannya dari kami, dari panitia, bisa ada follow up. Dan untuk rumah jurnal, harapannya nanti bisa mendapatkan bimbingan dari beliau agar bisa masuk dalam Scopus Q1 harapannya. Nanti mereka juga akan siap. Selain itu, ada tagihan juga yang mereka harapkan adalah menulis bersama di book chapter, yang ISSN-nya nanti akan diurus dari pihak London. Ini nanti kami mohon pertemuan ini bisa benar-benar nanti kita manfaatkan besok secara teknis, hari Jumat juga secara teknis, dan hari ini fokus spesifik pada 2 jurnal dan rencana publikasi termasuk pendirian dari Center for Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage in Asia Pacific. Acara ini adalah acara tahunan Bapak Ibu, setahun sebelum-sebelumnya dilakukan di Filipina, di Vietnam, dan tahun ini kita mendapatkan kehormatan Indonesia yang dipilih, dan Indonesia adalah Malang, dan Malang yang dipilih adalah Unisma Malang. Oke. Saya kira itu laporan dari kami, Pak WR1. That's the report from me on behalf of the committee of the Asia Pacific Conference, Second Asia Pacific Conference, Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage at Unisma Malang, in cooperation with Institute of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage in London and Ireland, Dublin, Ireland. And we thank you so much for coming. Sekali lagi terima kasih Bapak Ibu di tengah-tengah kesibukan Bapak Ibu berkenan dalam rangka untuk mengembangkan Unisma Malang untuk menuju World Class University melalui joint research, joint publication, and joint conference, dan harapannya nanti bisa menjadi program tahunan untuk pengembangan di masing-masing program studi. Besok pagi kami berencana untuk menginisiasi ada Memorandum of Agreement, sedang kami bicarakan nanti malam dengan Kaprodi di FAI, di S1 dan S2 untuk keperluan akreditasi Bapak Ibu. Sehingga nanti harapannya besok kita langsung tanda tangan dengan beliau-beliau dan langsung kira-kira nanti ada objek wisata apa yang kira-kira Bapak Ibu bisa diangkat, atau saya punya jamaah ziarah dan lain-lain, itu nanti bisa kita angkat diskusinya. Utamanya mungkin female Islamic tourism misalkan dengan Bu Nyai Ina misalkan, itu mungkin ide yang menarik juga untuk menjadi kajian internasional. Mereka juga nanti akan berkunjung ke Indonesia untuk melihat bagaimana wisata religi yang ada di Indonesia. I'm so sorry, Carlos, Razak, I'm talking in Bahasa Indonesia just to make sure that the content is delivered. And the purpose of our today's activity is focus group discussion to discuss about the journal publication, joint cooperation, journal book or book publication, as well as the cooperation to set up the Center of Asia Pacific Religious Tourism in Indonesia at University of Islam Malang. That's the report from me, and I do really hope that Professor Junaidi could provide advice and suggestion for us to what we call it to make this shared goal come true for the benefit of international cooperation among many institutions in Indonesia and abroad. Okay. Again, thank you so much, and please give a round of applause for our keynote speakers who are traveling far away from their home countries to Indonesia. Mereka ini semua Bapak Ibu dibiayai sendiri, mereka membiayai sendiri dari Australia, dari London, dari Portugal. Mereka datang, they come to Unisma Indonesia with their own expenses, which is very, very expensive. They buy a ticket, transit from Malaysia, from Singapore, long trip, very, very long trip. Ya, sangat melelahkan. Sehingga kami mohon berkenan Bapak Ibu besok bisa hadir untuk mengapresiasi kehadiran beliau-beliau. Mereka sangat tulus, berharap bisa bekerja sama untuk kerjasama internasional ini. Again, thank you. Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Again, thank you so much Bapak Ibu. Wallahul muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, the next agenda is the opening remarks of the second International Asia Pacific Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage 2024 by the Vice Rector of Academic and Cooperation Affairs, The Excellency Professor Dr. Andes Haji Junaidi Mr. MPD PhD. You are respectfully welcome.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. La haula wala quwwata illa billahil aliyyil azim. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad, amma ba'd. The Honorable Professor Razak Raj from Leeds Beckett University, London, United Kingdom. And then I would like to introduce you to the audience too. Okay. Ini yang Profesor Razak Raj. 2 minggu lalu sebenarnya beliau janjian sama saya ketemu di Mekah, hanya saja we missed at that time karena kita udah janjian setelah sholat isya ketemu di hotel gitu, hanya saja when the time came gitu, he left his cell phone at his hotel, sehingga saya nggak bisa kontak beliau. Okay, the Honorable Professor Carlos from Polytechnic Institute of Viana do Castelo, Portugal. And also Professor Gorete Silva from the same university. She is over there with you. And Professor Darius Liutikas from Lithuanian Center for Social Sciences, Lithuania. Negara di Eropa Timur. Well, actually we also have Professor Maureen Griffith from Monash University, Australia, but now she is at the hotel. Right, and he will be with us this evening. Bapak dan Ibu hadirin semua, alhamdulillah kita bisa bertemu pada sore hari ini dengan with a number of special programs we already arranged. For this afternoon, we are going to have an FGD, focus group discussions, focusing on a number of issues. Pertama, nanti Profesor Raj akan menjelaskan, will explain everything about the journal, that's International Journal of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage, which is Scopus indexed. Beliau nanti akan menjelaskan bagaimana untuk bisa publish di sana, proses pengiriman artikelnya, artikel apa saja yang bisa dipublish di sana, karena he told us that the number of papers from Indonesia is not very many, so we need to try hard to increase the number of contributors from Indonesia. Maka kita diharapkan there will be papers from Unisma, from researchers in Unisma published in that journal. Yang kedua juga beliau he invited us to be members, to be in charge of the journals too. So either to be editorial members or perhaps the reviewers or whatever we can contribute to the journal. Dan yang ketiga, we are thinking of establishing a kind of a research center in Indonesia for religious tourism and pilgrimage, so that dengan research center itu kita bisa bekerja sama dengan institut yang ada di Inggris itu untuk melakukan joint research terkait dengan religious tourism and pilgrimage. Sehingga insya Allah nanti misalnya Pak Jalil, nanti Yai Jalil bisa terlibat dalam berbagai kegiatan penelitian bersama, terutama terkait dengan religious pilgrimage-nya gitu ya. Dan sehingga kita akan lebih banyak menyiapkan dosen-dosen kita untuk to be internationally recognized juga gitu ya. Nah, oleh karena itu Bapak dan Ibu, kegiatan kita pada sore hari ini, our activity this afternoon is just a preliminary program, because the actual program will be starting tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, for the conferences. So we are going to discuss some papers tomorrow and on Friday, but this afternoon this is the preliminary program for introducing about the journals and the process of publication in the journal, and also inviting us to contribute articles for the journal of publications. Oleh karena itu sekali lagi we hope that Bapak dan Ibu bisa mengikuti dengan baik juga. Mohon besok juga bisa hadir. Kemudian hari Jumat, untuk hari Jumat sore penutupan nanti harus kita diskusikan lagi karena bersamaan juga dengan Pak Wapres yang hadir di Unisma. Saya kira itu, thank you Pak Brother Razak and also other top managements of the Institute of the Journals. Thank you for coming to Unisma, thank you for coming to Malang, thank you for coming to Indonesia. Karena beberapa di antara mereka baru pertama kali juga datang ke Indonesia. Thank you. And good luck. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much.
Continuing, the next agenda is the presentation from IRTP Journal and Islamic Tourism Journal team. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Razak Raj, PhD, with a round of applause.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. As-salatu wa salam ala sayyidul mursaleen wa khatamun nabiyyin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, fa'uzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Sadaqallahul azim. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim. Thanks very much for inviting us. Before I go through all the journal's details, I would like to introduce the two key colleagues, Professor Carlos Fernandez, who's been part of this group since 2003, when the family was started. We call it this as a family, we don't call it organization, because we like a family. We've been working together for 21 years. And one of the things, the reason we came together is to, or particularly the reason we've done very well, we are very, very close, family knit in terms of doing the work together, trust and believe. On left hand side is my great colleague who joined us about 14 years ago, Darius, and he's from Lithuania. I will let them introduce themselves, then I'll go through the journal and explain to you about the International Journal of Religious Tourism. And then I will also talk to you about Islamic tourism, which started by two colleagues. One is from Malaysia, the other one is from Turkey. It has been helped by myself and Kevin Griffith, my other colleague who's based in Ireland. Okay. Again, I will talk about very detail about this journal, but before I do that, I think it's best if I get Carlos to talk about the group and the Darius, and then I'll take over and discuss in detail. Yeah, I'll talk about the books. I've got it all up in the system.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Carlos Fernandez, as has been mentioned before. And before I start talking about the book series, just like to say that a few months ago, Razak Raj called me and says, Carlos, we're going to Indonesia. And I said, okay, Indonesia. I never met anyone from Indonesia. Where is it? Well, no, I knew where it was. I just never met anyone from Indonesia. So I was curious. And before we arrived here, I arrived here yesterday, we have several meetings, WhatsApp, technology nowadays, okay? And meeting with people from this university, I found it very friendly, always smiling, okay? And we started to, well, we hadn't met yet, but we started to actually work very, very nicely together in organizing this event and having it come through. And I arrived yesterday. I met some people yesterday. I had dinner with some people from local people from the university. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised how people are very friendly, how the people are very hospitable, the respect that there is with the people. And that is something that we don't find out very much nowadays. It's gratifying to see such a wonderful culture. And when we want to promote tourism, this is one of the vantage points. This is what makes the difference for a tourist destination. It's people, okay? It's people, it's destination, and I must add one thing, which is something I do a lot of research on also, and it's food, okay? Fantastic. I just needed to throw that in because I am, the few hours that I have been here, I have really enjoyed being in this country. I do hope I get invited back because I like to come back, okay?
Yes.
So first I would like to start with a thank you very much, okay? About the book series, Razak will talk about the journal, and Darius will talk about the journals, but we have also in 2014 or so, we started a book series with Cavi. Cavi is one of the major publishers in the UK, and possibly one of the biggest in the world as well. What we do is someone who decides to publish on a topic, then we contact the family, like it was referred to by Razak, the International Religious Tourism Pilgrimage family that we started 2003, and we have been developing and building it up and increasing the number of people participating. And then people that are like-minded, that would like to publish in that particular area, that particular theme, we gather, we talk, and we establish a structure for the book. Each one then does a chapter. Number of chapters are usually 14, 15 chapters. And we have published 20, how many books in total? So we have had a very, very productive...
Sorry, Carlo, can you connect oh yeah, here we go.
We have had a very productive...
this is the...
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Now I can see it, but we can't see it.
Yeah. So you see some of the books that have been published.
Okay, is there. So
And it was also said by our colleague here, the Vice Rector, that if from this meeting this week here in Malang, if someone says, you know, there's a topic, there's a theme that we'd like to explore further, and we would like to produce a book. This is usually how this starts. Someone who has a topic, a theme that they would like to explore further, and they would like to work with people that have similar interests in that particular field. And we talk and we gather today, like I mentioned earlier, the WhatsApp and the Zooms and all this technology that we can be in all corners of the world and meet. Finding common hours is sometimes a bit difficult because of difference in time. But yeah, but we can communicate, we get together, we structure it, and a beautiful book comes out that we add to our book collection, okay? And it's usually topics that we see that are in need in the literature, existing literature on religious tourism, okay? Religious tourism as we see it nowadays, I mean 20 years ago, okay, we spoke a bit of religious tourism, but the literature, it was not that big, okay? Now there's quite a big literature on religious tourism. But still a lot of topics, themes that have not been explored. So we are always looking for someone to propose a theme, a topic that we'd like to explore, and hopefully the next couple of days here and all the presentations that are going to be done, that maybe perhaps one of you will say, I have an excellent idea for a book. If that's the case, come talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. And I would personally like to go away from Malang. I'm leaving on Sunday. Unfortunately, I should have come longer, okay? Leaving on Sunday, but I would like to go away saying, we have someone ready to go ahead with a book proposal. So I'm looking forward to talking to you in the next couple of days. Please, I'll be here every day from morning till the end of the event. Come to me during a break or whenever you have an opportunity, talk to me, and I will be more than willing to work with you about putting a book structure together, possibly adding to our book series. Okay? Thank you very much.
Can I just introduce my other colleague, Darius?
Okay. Hello, everybody. So, dear Professor Junaidi, dear Professor Imam, dear colleagues, so it's really very nice to be here to participate in this event and to be with family of religious tourism and pilgrimage. And it's my second time in Indonesia. I was here 7 years ago. I visited Bali and Mount Bromo. Yeah, it's two most important places. It was for me 7 years ago. Yeah, but now I am happy to be at the conference, religious tourism and pilgrimage. And I am a researcher of religious tourism and pilgrimage for already, I think, 20 years at Lithuanian Social Research Center. Lithuania is a small country in Europe, near Baltic Sea. We have only 3 million people in Lithuania, inhabitants. Yeah, so it's your region is bigger than my country. Yeah, and talking about publishing possibilities and about this family, so. It's already Razak mentioned several times that it's a community. It's a family of researchers, of religious tourism, fans of religious tourism, fans of pilgrims, and the main important point, if you want to be the member of this family, of this community, you have to wish to research religious tourism and pilgrimage issues, and also to do some maybe your own researches, or to join researches, yeah, with other scholars in different universities, different part of the world, yeah, and it's already Carlos presented about book possibilities. Razak will tell more about journal and publishing at the journal. It's also important thing, maybe Razak will tell more about Institute of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimages. There is institute, non-formal, I would say, institute. Everybody could become member of this institute, and it's also the most important these two conditions for the membership, what you have to be researcher, and the second most important, that you have to have a will to be a member of this community and to do researches on religious tourism and pilgrimage. And also it's talking about journal, it's maybe it's very important to say, but it could be like teamed issues, yeah? So you can propose theme or topic on religious tourism and pilgrimage, and you could be editor of this special issue, and also our team, Raza, Carlos, myself, could help if you need any help, or you could do of your own as an editor for special issues. So it's up to you to propose any theme, any topic you want to develop on religious tourism and pilgrimage, and it could be published as a special issue. Yeah, so it's important. And yeah, maybe if you will have later some questions, I am happy also to contribute with answers, but let's give word to the main presenter, yeah, and about religious tourism and pilgrimage journal, and Razak will do presentation, the main presentation about this journal.
Really appreciate, thank you Carlos, thank you Darius. What I'll do is, before I move on to the journal, since Professor Junaidi didn't meet me in Makkah, that was a blessing for us, and that's why he wanted me to come here. But if you see this book here, it was me and Kevin has published this one. It says, it does comes up here, hopefully. It says risk and safety challenges for religious tourism events. If you remember 2015, when the crane crashed in Mecca during the Hajj, I was talking to Kevin Griffin. He asked me, how's things in Mecca? Because we work very closely. So he rang me, and I said to him, things are pretty bad. Number of people have died. So he goes to me, what about doing a book on risk and safety? That's why you can see the picture of Mecca there. The point of saying what Darius was saying, if you got an idea, if you want to publish a book, share it with us, all three of us, or anybody who can write to send it an email, we'll help you with the proposal. So ideas just come not because you have to be thinking about it. Sometimes ideas just come by talking to somebody. So if you got ideas over the next few days, we will be happy to talk to you. Otherwise, send us an email. We'll be more than happy. The other thing I was so happy to see here today, it was Hakim. He told me that he's the teacher of Hadith and Fiqh. So you're very lucky people that he never told me this before. He's a very knowledgeable person. So again, you can come up various different ideas between yourself, and we'll be more than happy to help you with those. So let me move into the journal. The story of the journal was started, Carlos didn't tell you the full story. The first conference was started in 2003. It was only 10 people. Was it 12?
13.
13. He corrects me, it's 13. And at that time, I remember talking to some people, they think religious tourism, what does it mean? Does it really exist? Now, 21 years later, you can see we published, I think, 24 books. And we have published in the journal 505 papers up till last night. The journal came around after the Malta Conference 2013. What happened is, in 2013, we were discussing for a number of years that we should have our own journal because we were struggling to publish because people didn't understand the concept of religious tourism. So we were starting to struggle to publish. So we sent a number of ideas to a number of journals. People used to refuse us. Anyway, in 2013, we launched the journal. The first issue came out in 2013. And we used again, this is another idea, and I think I'll be more than happy to speak to the colleagues during the conference. This journal is run by us, based in Dublin Institute in Ireland. It's co-hosted by Leeds Beckett University and also by Carlos University in Portugal. Viana di Costela, if I got that right. And 3 universities, and particularly is managed by myself and Kevin Griffin and Carlos. If I just show you how popular, if you all can see how the journal has grown over the years. Up till last night, up till today, we have 469,947 papers have been downloaded. Just in last 12 months, up till today, 81,000 papers were downloaded. So the journal is becoming very popular. One of the issues was coming up, we used to get law papers from Malaysia, Indonesia, were all Islamic perspective. But because we couldn't able to publish every one of them, so we then come up with a new idea, Islamic Tourism Journal, which was launched in 2021. I'll talk about that later on as well. It's not run by me, it's not run by Kevin or Carlos, it's run by 2 colleagues. Colleague from Turkey is Yasin, the other colleague is Ahmed in Malaysia. But we do help them. We are part of the team. So again, point of saying this journal is open access. If you look at it, it's open access, you don't have to pay no money. You can able to, as soon as you publish your paper, you get public access around the world. There's no money involved. Anybody asks you for publishing paper in our journal is free. We don't get involved in any taking any money at all. So again, we want to assure this. Secondly, the journal is hosted, which obviously you have to have a research engine, is Digital Commons, is US-based index, is powered by B Press, So again, this is how the journal is being run from there. I just move on to show you some of the most popular papers has been downloaded over the years. These are some of the most popular papers. I'll give you how many times they've been downloaded. No, that's the wrong one. No, wrong one. Here we go. No, where's it gone? Here we go. There we go. The most popular paper, the first paper we published ever in the journal was The Importance of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage, reflecting on definition, motive and data. And then you can see the number of other papers have been published. And this shows you on the right hand time how many times each paper has been downloaded. So over the years, these are the most popular papers, has been read or been downloaded or been studied by people. Okay? Let me go back to I don't know, we never met this guy afterward, we only saw him in Malta. Do you remember him, Carlos? David Baker. It was the first paper we published. And after that, we never heard from him. But as you can see, a number of other papers are very popular, have been downloaded over the last few years. That's why we can say most popular papers. Let me show you about the journal. How has it been indexed? Where is it gone? It's here. If you look at the journal, religious studies, we are Q1. So one of the highest ranking wise. But if you go under the different heading, if you go under the heading of tourism, leisure and hospitality management, we are Q3. When the ranking will release later on in April, will be Q2. So as you can see, the journal has been making a fantastic progress over the years. One of the things we want to make sure that it stays free. We have been approached by other journals or publishers, Emeralds, Taylor and Francis, but we refuse to give it to them because they want to charge. It's a family, it's run by us, it's no cash involvement, anybody can publish with us. And that's the current status of this journal. I'll just tell you last thing before I take the questions. Yesterday evening, we published this issue. This issue was published yesterday evening. Volume 11, note point 6. And this is table of the content. These were the papers were published yesterday evening. And this was again, he was talking about, you're talking about graves. These were the symbols. And this was let me show you how many papers. You asked me a question earlier on, I couldn't remember. I think altogether there is 12 papers been published yesterday. So as the papers comes in, we will publish them. A moment, the waiting time is anything between 9 months to 12 months. Because it's run by us, read by us, one of the problem we have, the reviewers doesn't send us the review back on time. That's the biggest problem. What I was saying to Professor Junaidi earlier on and Imam, we are looking for reviewers from this part of the world. If anybody wants to become a reviewer for the journal, please talk to me, talk to Darius, talk to Carlos, the people we're looking for to become a reviewers who are active researchers. So you will get 2 to 3 papers to review. You'll get 4 to 6 weeks time to return it to us. Because quicker you return, quicker the paper can get published. Okay? I will be happy to take any questions. This is the background to the journal. And let me tell you the last thing about the Islamic Tourism Journal. If I can show you that one. This is the Islamic Tourism Journal, which was launched by colleagues, like I said to you, from Turkey and Malaysia, and is so far published, I think 12 papers. It is early stages. So we are looking to help these colleagues to develop the particularly Islamic tourism side of it, because Indonesia itself is a huge country, and Malaysia, then you go various other Muslim countries around the world, and we are here to help you. Anybody wants to talk to me about that, will be more than happy. Again, this journal is free. It's hosted by the colleague in Turkey, like we host the other one in Dublin, again, is open access. Okay? So as soon as you send it to us, as soon as it's been reviewed by 2 people, it's accepted by us, it'll get published straight away. Okay? I'm willing to take any questions. Over to you, Lord. Unless, Carlos, you want to say something?
I'll just probably just like to add that I see lots of young people here, which means that we have lots of young researchers. And those who already have some experience know how at the beginning it's a bit difficult to start going. So for young researchers, if you're interested in publishing, like Razak said, contact us, because we do provide assistance to young researchers who want to start publishing, but perhaps need a bit of confidence, need a little bit of help. Let us know. We would like to really work with young researchers to get that first or second paper published, because once you go through that barrier of the first, second paper, then you'll definitely want to continue publishing.
Let me tell you a story about you saying young people publishing. When I was a young researcher, I went to my professor in my university. I said to him, I want to publish. It took me 6 months for a coffee every month, never told me the trick how to publish. So publishing is an art. And we are, like I said to you, we are a family, we're willing to help you. Because I believe very greatly to whoever wants to publish, I want to work with those people, because end of the day, the God has given us the knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided us this knowledge. We're here one day, tomorrow will be gone. So if we can help pass our expertise, our knowledge, and then we've done something good deeds, so we are here to help you. Please come and talk to us. Okay? Any questions? You're all very quiet. You're very quiet people. Junaidi told me you're able to talk to me next 2 hours. Come on.
So ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question requires, you can ask directly right now.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Thank you.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Dr. Razak, this is my introduction. 2011, I went to London, and I went to Oxford University, Cambridge University. I went to Regent Park and Central Mosque. Unfortunately, at that time, I didn't meet you. Now, alhamdulillah, I meet you in my university. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Razak and all distinguished guests. International Journal of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage, that you are one of the editor. When I read the papers, current issues, volume 11, issue 6, 2023, would you be so kind to give us what is actually the most powerful theme when I conduct a research, especially in religious tourism and pilgrimage here, especially in Unisma or in Malang, in East Java? Would you be so kind to give me a special theme that is very useful for all people in the world? And also when I conduct a research, both with my colleague Vita and also Imam, or with Professor Junaidi, how can I send to your International Journal of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage, and no need for you to decline? Sorry. And directly you receive. Okay. And you give me LOA. This is what we want. If yes, so inshallah I will join your international conference for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. This is actually Dr. Razak, you know. This is supposed a lot of problems with my students and also with my colleague. Okay. Now I have forced by our rector that I have to be a professor. Okay, but I need 2 more Scopus journals. And now I work with Farouk, and also I work with all my colleagues. Okay,
First of all, let me show you one thing.
Sorry?
I'll be more than happy to help you to publish 2 papers in Scopus journal. The reason is this, like I said to you, we learned a hard way. Anybody who wants to be progressing in their career, that really motivates us to help the individual. So more than happy to help you in that. That's no even issue.
Excellent.
I can assure you from front of the whole public, it will be my pleasure.
Okay.
So again, is an art, is a technique that when you publishing papers. Again, am I able to spend half an hour tomorrow? We'll create a space and show you between three of us how to write academic paper.
Okay.
Again, it's not about what you're writing, it's how you're writing it, how you're structuring it,
Okay.
and how you're designing it. And
Okay.
that is very important.
Okay.
So again, more than happy to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know that I have 3 articles, but unfortunately, this is not in religious tourism and pilgrimage because I'm from education department. Okay, but if you invite us for submitting 2 articles, it's okay. I will do with my colleague. Okay. Yeah.
I could add maybe about topics, yeah? So
okay.
it's the most important what topic should be related to religious tourism and pilgrimage,
Okay,
yeah?
yes.
It's the most important
Okay,
thing. And
good.
the most popular topics in general related to management of sacred
Okay.
places, on motivation of pilgrims, on behavior of religious tourism and pilgrims, also on religious events, and also on what else? Spiritual development, yeah.
Yeah.
So and personal development during the pilgrimages, yeah.
Okay.
So it's the most popular topics, but topic is up to you. You can choose freely, but it should be related to religious tourism and pilgrimage.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Just saying this, a moment I was, like Professor Junaidi, last week I was in Mecca.
Yep.
I went to see the Qura, the University of Qura.
In Medina?
And in Makkah.
Oh, Makkah, okay.
Where Imam Sudais and they teaches. So one of the things they are very desperate to publish is the festivals, religious festivals, because Saudi government is now pumping a lot of money into religious tourism and also general tourism.
Okay.
For them, events is becoming a very, very popular topic. So it could be religious event, could be, for example, like Hajj,
Okay.
or could be like Umrah or other activities. I'll give you an example. I wrote a paper in, Carlos will remember, it was 2003, my first paper. It was about Hajj. And then I wrote a few other articles over the years. And then in 2011, I was approached by the professors in Saudi Arabia saying, who are you? You're not Saudi, but you're writing on Hajj. It is motivating us to write on something new. So again, the topic doesn't need to be one specific element, but long as the something you enjoy is linked into the religious tourism, or one of the most popular is coming up in the last few years through the reading the papers been submitted to us is motivation and impact and sacred sites.
Okay.
Because, I'll give you an example, after the Gaza war, a lot of people are downloading law papers on Jerusalem. Because we went to Jerusalem in 2020, wrote a Pacific special issue, and looking at the data last night, number of people, hundreds are downloading on Jerusalem.
Okay.
So again, sometimes these kind of impact around the world does create certain topics to be developed. So again, more than happy to talk to you. But I thought you said 2 papers, now you said 3 papers. I want to know 2 plus 1.
I would like, okay. Yeah.
Can I add something as well?
Thank you, Professor. Thank you very much.
When it comes to, in terms of topics in religious tourism, we have to first break down by motivation, let's say. In tourism, we study why tourists come. What are their motivation? Well, in religious tourism, we have the same situation. Usually they will come for the sacred, for the faith, or they are more secular tourists looking for, some religious aspect, but also other things as well. So it depends a bit on which area you'd like to, if you want to study more the faith, people coming for the faith and what sort of behavior they have during their journey. Or if you study more the secular tourist, who comes for other than religious, also for other reasons. I mentioned, for example, one of the areas that I also research is in gastronomy. We have tourists coming for religion that they love to, they do pilgrimages, in which they choose to do pilgrimages based on the landscape that they will travel through, the people who they will meet, the food that they will eat. So they base their decisions to make that pilgrimage based on these aspects. So it depends a bit on what you like to research on. What is currently very current trend is the festivals, like Razak mentioned. My colleague Goretti will be speaking about festivals in her presentation. And intangible heritage. Intangible heritage is something that we've all heard of the tourist and the need for experiences. Well, the experience is about with people. And what I said earlier about the people in Indonesia, the values that you hold, the culture that you show, these are things that tourists are increasingly looking for, because it's something that they don't have in their societies anymore. Okay, so this is something that we can explore. I'll give you one example. This morning we took a tour of the Malang, at the center of Malang, and I was surprised that in the same street, 300 meters, 200 meters maybe, we had a mosque, we had a Protestant church, and we had a Catholic church. And that in itself was a bit surprising how close they are. Okay? And then I heard a story. Storytelling is also another thing that we love to do in tourism. The tourists like to hear. I heard a story how when it's a Muslim activity, the Catholics and the Protestants, they help. When it's a Catholic activity, the Muslims, the Protestants, so there's a cooperation there, which in a world society that we know today with so many problems, to see this going on, it's something that we need to value. We need to show the rest of the world that this can happen. Okay, so this is something we can study, and it's something that would be of real interest for people to read about, because it's an excellent case study. So something that you might want to explore. It's just an example.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Can I say something, Razak? Okay. Bapak Ibu mungkin ada rencana dari Fakultas Agama Islam yang akan ditindaklanjuti, monggo. Mungkin dari Pak Zukrian atau mungkin Pak Dian. Pak Yai Jalil, monggo mohon komennya. Pak Afif, Dr. Afif.
They're too shy.
Pak Dian mungkin bisa say something, please.
Well, thank you very much for the occasion given to me. Well, as I told you before, Razak, that in our Faculty of Islamic Studies consists of 5 departments. All departments, there is no relationship, I think, between tourism and pilgrimage. So, according to you, maybe we need a suggestion to our faculty what kind of theme that can be written from all of us, the member of Faculty of Islamic Academic, in order we can publish our article in that journals.
Again, what I was saying to you earlier, you got very rich knowledge and you got rich data and this part of the world. And basically one area you can able to look is the motivation to going, for example, for the Indonesian people to, for example, let's say Mecca and Medina was the purpose. The other one could be, where we were talking earlier on about, with your president, about the different practices that exist in the Indonesia. And also the behavior element could be another one. And to be honest with you, that you can able to develop different topics from there. And we were talking to Darius earlier on about the cemetery tourism and why Muhammadiyah compared Nadrat al-Ulama disagree with each other. So this will be another topic could be written. Can you see? In your particular area, because Muhammadiyah probably saying now visiting the graveyard is no compulsory. But then again, if you're saying to Nadrat ulama, they're saying is compulsory, good practice. It's like say, I think Carlos remember 2008, we were in Portugal and somebody asked me a question. And from Israel said to me, why did the Muslim goes to Medina? I can understand why you go to Mecca. What's the purpose of going to Medina? I remember the hadith that time. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam visiting Medina is compulsory on you giving salam on me. You see? So if somebody says to you now, why do you visit the grave? Then your question is come back to the hadith, isn't it? So you go again, is the research is there. Can you see traveling? So again, there is a number of topics can be come out if we discuss in more detail. So I think you go very rich knowledge, honestly, in your faculty, and we will be more than happy to share some of the ideas. The ones I probably look at is maybe the motivation, the behavior, the visiting, and also the conflict between Muhammadiyah and Nadrat ulama. Again, this is something you can write. That's my view.
Okay, thank you. More questions?
They're too shy, they don't want to talk to us. Come on, guys, we are like you.
Oke, sebenarnya misalnya seperti Pak Yai Zalil, itu misalnya bisa juga meneliti tentang the motivations of the umroh jamaah. Because he always, almost every year, he goes to Mecca with his jamaah for umrah.
Who's that, Hakim?
No, Yai Jalil.
Jalil.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much. Well, I would like to tell about this discussion today. It is not important, but very, very important, especially about telling about the pilgrimage. Pilgrimage is a special, special ibadah. It is not the same as the other ibadah. It means that there are some prerequisites must be fulfilled. That is why I would like to ask you, Mr. Professor, that in Indonesia, the Muslims, it is for this year, there are 241,000 persons to go to Mecca this year, 224. And I practice every year to go to pilgrimage. It is about 19 times. 19 times I go. And this year I would like to go there again. So, what is your opinion about this Muslim here? And if you compare in your country about the intention for a Muslim to go to pilgrimage, especially to go to pilgrimage, not only for or Umrah. So
we did a comparative study between the Muslims of US. Do you remember Dino? Dino and myself did a comparative study of people going on Hajj from US, and then we looked at what was the motive behind it. And some people, again, I think one of the papers is published on the journal, and one of the paper was published in the book series. And the comparative study was saying that most of the people wanted to go to Mecca is part of the fifth, the principle of the Islamic ethos. So everybody wanted to make sure as the fifth, the principle of the Islamic ethos to be fulfilled.
Yes.
Your second part is that you say you want to go every year. I've been going since 2007, every year with my family. It's like somebody going to Rome or somebody going to church or anything. It's the love of the place, the love of the site, love of the pilgrimage you get, because you won't get it nowhere else. Because the love you get in Medina, that you're not going to get anywhere else, are you? And the feeling, the respect, the values you get. So again, it's an individual's views. That's why I said to you earlier on, the behavior element could be a good choice to do a comparative study or analysis, or also able to do qualitative study and quantitative as well, to find out two different elements, in-depth understanding and wide understanding. So again, there's a number of areas that you can able to choose. The main question is why people go to Mecca. Because it's fundamentally, if you can afford it, is that everybody wants to go visit the house of Allah. Because if you go back historically in the Quranic, it says when Abraham and his son built it, God said, you don't worry, you built it, I make sure people will come to you. It's the love of the place is put in our hearts by the God. So that's where we go. So that's the reality. Now what we need to do the research-wise, we need to ask people, are they going because of the tourists, or are they going purely as a pilgrimage? So if somebody going every year, are they going purely as pilgrimage, or the motive is to see the rest of the Saudi Arabia? Yeah. So for example, if I'm going, I only go to two places. I only go to Makkah and Medina. I don't have interest in the rest of the Saudi, because I can go to the rest of the Arab Peninsula. Can you see, now Saudi is also expanding the pilgrimage to Madan and Alula. And if you're according to Hadith, you're not supposed to visit Madan or Alula, because for good and Qawma Samud, or Qawma Ad, again, we're not supposed to go. So can you see, are we going as a tourist, or are we going as a pilgrimage? And that's the debate that research can take as well. Come on, Darius, you can talk.
Yeah, tomorrow I will present from a Christian perspective about motivation, about, I call this like evaluistic journeys, yeah? The most important thing to go on pilgrimage is your values and your identity. So pilgrimage is trip when you can manifest your values and your identity. So it's the main issue, and I will talk tomorrow more about this, as I'm saying, mainly from Christian perspective, but I think this idea fits to all religions, yeah? When you manifest your values, your identity, and your motivation to go related pure, for example, when you are pure pilgrim, your motivation has to be pure religious motivation. Because we have a lot of discussions when, for example, in Christianity, we have half pilgrims, half tourists, yeah? And because, as Razak mentioned, yeah, 60%, for example, even go to Santiago de Compostela, people who do walking pilgrimage, more than 50% they do this pilgrimage on cultural reasons or on sport, not on religious reasons. Yeah, so it's pilgrimage becoming like part of tourism. Yeah, part of tourism and part of cultural tourism. So it's very important, your question, to distinguish real pilgrims, pure pilgrims, from secular motivation, from, I have also developed like pseudo-pilgrims, another term, yeah? Pseudo-pilgrim. People, for example, who are going in pilgrim group, but they don't have any religious motivation. Exist such, we could say, pilgrims, yeah? So it's a very interesting topic on these motivation issues, and yeah, so it's you can do sociological research, sociological service on motivation, and you will find many interesting hidden motives, yeah, why people going on pilgrimages. Yeah, it's very important, but now the main issue is what motives to go becoming more and more diverse, yeah. It's not only what religion, or it's not only social motives, but very, very diverse motives.
Thank you very much.
So, have you decided to publish now? Yes. Yeah, so we will be publishing with you, yeah? You see, just to give you, tomorrow I will be presenting a paper. Me and Darius only decided to add some other presentation to it, and Carlos also will be doing one extra. And I will be looking at the people traveling to Medina. And what's the motive, what's the behavior, what's the ethos behind it. So again, that's another, probably some areas we can discuss tomorrow in very thorough. So again, what I was going to be honest to you, like I gave you an example, when I first started researching, it's hard. But when you become a researcher, you'll put papers out every day. You put books out every day. It's just, you need just a push. Like Carlos was saying earlier, sometimes you just need somebody to push you, and you'll publish. So that's why we're here. This family of religious tourism, we all be here to help people. And that's how we've been successful over the last 21 years. Okay. So, any other questions? Okay, Professor Junaidi, look like we finished. Okay.
Any other questions?
So I think, Razak, we will follow it up from our office, Razak, and also from the Office of Research and Community Service, as well as from journal publication team, because we have Dr. Vita. Dr. Vita is the one who is in charge of the journal, like the journal at Unisma across faculties. And we also have Dr. Farouk. Dr. Farouk is the one who is focusing on the, what we call as the publication for faculty members, like helping the faculty members to publish internationally for proofreading and then for editing. So it's like under his office. And then from my side, the Office of International Affairs will coordinate across the units with the Faculty of Islamic Study, Faculty of Education, because Faculty of Education have a course on tourism as well. And then also with the Faculty of Economic and Business. So by having this across unit cooperation, I think it will what we call help achieve what as mentioned already by Prof. Junaidi, our university dream to have a world-class university. I think, thank you so much, Raza, Carlos, and Darius for having this focus group discussion this afternoon.
Imam, just to remember something, talking to Professor Junaidi just now, he's mentioned one thing, and this is something we have set up between myself and Kevin. We were finding law papers were coming from Indonesia, particularly India, also from Malaysia and other countries, this part of the world. The English language, also Saudi Arabia, English language was a big problem. So what we're saying to you now, we found 2 English-speaking proofreaders. They will charge you We don't take that money, that will go to proofreaders, whatever they charge you, 100, 200 pound. But they will proofread your paper before it gets submitted to any journal. So if you're submitting it to us, they will do your proofreading. That's another problem sometimes. People are struggling because of the language terminology. So for that reason, I had a long discussion with Kevin last year in our conference, so we decided that we'll offer that service. And if you think your paper is not up to that service, then obviously we'll give you the details and you talk to those individuals. And that's one way of improving your publications. Again, these days there's a number of programs available where you can able to improve your writing and publication skills. So again, if you need, we are here to help you, okay? Please.
Yeah, just one last comment further on what Razak was mentioning. What we find is that, for example, my native language is Portuguese. I do have a good knowledge of English, but what we see many times is someone that writes in their home language. Okay, you write in Indonesian. Okay, I have full paper in Indonesian. Now I need to translate it into English. Google, not good. As much as it's an easy translation, when it gets to the reviewers, it's a bit, it's not complete. So if you are writing in a different language and then translating it into English, make sure you have someone, a native speaker, or someone who can read it in the language that will be published, because that will make a difference. Because the reviewers will catch up on that when they know that they can tell that's not the proper English, or it's not, they know that it's been translated. And many times when you do a translation, it doesn't come out so well. So you should make sure that before you submit it, make sure someone with good knowledge of English reads it. Even if you are very good at English, have someone else review it, comment on it before you submit it.
Just mention last thing before we close it. If you look on the screen, I put the editor in Word document. These are something basic stuff you can do. I normally say this to my students. If I click on that, it'll pick up how many mistakes are in your document. And sometimes 90% people don't even do that when they send the papers into journals. These are basic service you can do it yourself. And that's one way you can able to improve your papers. To be honest, every my international students, one thing I do is tell them to do their own editing. And the Word document is very, very good in terms of doing it. And like Carlos says, once you've done the basics, then give it to somebody else to proofread it for you. Okay? Thank you very much. Jazakallah. Shukran.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this discussion. So let's close our agenda by reciting Hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Thank you very much.
And on behalf of the committee, we do apologize for any shortcoming during hosting you in this agenda. And thank you very much for gathering us here from opening until closing. And the last we say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, and we invite Professor Darius, Professor, and all Professor, and also Prof. Junaidi to come forward to take the photo session. Yes. Dr. Imam. And all lecturers, please come forward to take the photo session. Please come forward, yes. We invite all the professors and also all the committee members, all head of department to come forward to join the photo sessions.
please all the lecturers and the committees to come forward to join the photo session together. Once more, for all the committees and participants with the lecture to come forward to join the photo session together.